I'm Kevin Harrington, an original shark from the hit television show Shark Tank, and with me is Christina Balzani. But Christina,
Nice to
how you
meet you.
doing? Nice to meet you too. Hey, you've got an awesome story, but it had some really tough times for you when you were 5 years old because you were sexually abused when you were 5 years old.
Yes, until I was 13.
That's just got to be just a terrible, terrible thing. And God bless that you dealt with that, and you've survived though, and that's what you're all about. Because by the way, you've been almost 40 years in the medical field. But you decided you've started a business where you have a 13-week program to help people that were sexually abused. And coming from someone that's been there, that's got to be an awesome program. So we're here to talk about it today. There's people out there that probably could use some help that have had this issue. They don't know what to do, and you are solving these problems because you've been through it.
Yes.
13 weeks, you're going to go through, you do Zoom calls with these folks. Let's talk about what you do.
Basically, they get me personally for 13 weeks, but that's not all they get. They also get 24 hours a day on Voxer, which is they can, if they're having a crisis or if they need to talk, and I promise I will get back to them during business hours within the next day.
Yes.
Because I don't want them to feel like, forgetting and leave them till the next week.
Right.
That.
So you help these folks, you put a program together, and I just want to understand this, the Zooms. Okay. So is there like any kind of curriculum that goes with it, or is it mostly you just talking to them, getting, kind of one-on-one, getting to know them and developing a program for them?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
What I do is I ask them the right questions.
Okay.
And we figure out what they're supposed to do. And then there's an action plan, whether they've been to therapy. Because I tell them in the beginning, I'm not a licensed therapist. I have been in the medical field as an MRI tech.
Right.
So I've learned compassion with that for over 30 years, like you said.
There you go.
And basically, they have to, figure out where they want to be. Mm-hmm. And most of the time they take them from A to B, not just A to Z.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I can't
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, this is, you have such a passion for this because I can just see it in your face and your responses, and because you've been through this, and it's a terrible thing that you went through. But when you take someone through your process, they come out of it in a much different frame of mind, right?
Yes.
So let's talk about that magical transformation that you help people perform.
Well, they get to know that they can find their voice.
Okay.
They can use their voice. Because some people, the problem with childhood sexual abuse is everyone thinks they're the only one who's been through it.
Right.
In the beginning.
Right.
And there's a lot of guilt, shame, condemnation.
Right, sure.
And none of that, is true. That is a lie from the pit of hell.
Yeah.
To be honest with
you.
You
help them understand that they shouldn't be thinking about that.
Right.
That
I call it stinking thinking, if you will.
Thinking.
I've heard that before. I don't know who I heard that from.
Right. I know. It's Zig Ziglar's the creator.
Is that who did?
Stinking thinking.
Thank you.
He's been a mentor to me for years too.
Wow.
Before he was passed away.
Yeah,
but
he was
God
amazing.
bless him. But so you, is there? If I were to say, what makes you different from somebody else? Do you have any kind of an answer for that? What would you say?
I think it's case by case.
Yeah.
For me, because I've been through it.
Yeah.
And because I can guide them in the steps that I took.
Yeah.
It might be Jesus.
There you go.
That makes me different.
There you go.
A lot of them are just, yes, and I have no problem with therapy.
Right.
Traditional therapies. I've been through it all.
Right.
But Jesus is the one who got me through.
There you go.
And
so, I mean, the folks that have experienced abuse, they have challenges they're dealing with on a day-to-day basis. Mental, they maybe, they're not thinking straight. So what are some of these challenges, and how do you help people overcome them?
For me, the biggest problem is they feel like they're the only one this has ever happened to.
Right. Gotcha.
That's what I felt for years.
Okay.
So to feel like you're not alone. They're not the only one, Kevin.
Yeah.
they just gotta just know where they can hold somebody's hand,
right,
and guide them through.
Yeah,
and that's
yes.
where I come in.
Yeah,
and if they
you
need
go.
therapy, that's great. You know, we can find a therapist together. We can find
Right.
traditional medical procedure, whatever they need to do, because that's where my medical background comes in as well.
I mean, you know, for all these years in the MRI space, you're helping, you're compassionate with people, helping them, feeling for them, because these are people that are sick, that are trying to find
Scared.
What's their problem? There maybe some of them have cancers and whatever.
For sure.
So you've been in the compassionate field for years, and this is these folks that are experiencing the abuse. They need your kind of help, you know, and especially someone that's been there before, right?
I hope so.
Yeah.
Yes,
So,
I'd love to.
Just before we finish, without mentioning names, because it's a very delicate subject, did you think through somebody that had a transformation, that was able to go from a point of desperation to being, you know, feeling much better?
Well,
I know yourself. You're
not only me,
you're
but
the first.
people
right?
that I've known that have been through this, and they've talked to me, just talking, even just not even going through my program. Also, just from speaking, they feel like, you know what, Christina, just knowing that I've read your book, that I've because I did write a best-selling
Let's talk about your book.
Oh yes, yes, I'm a best-selling author as well.
Best-selling author.
And
awesome.
a speaker too. So
and the book. What's the title of the book?
Oh, it's called Dry Your Eyes, Girl.
Dry Your Eyes, Girl. Yes. Okay. So between the book and talking and the Zooms and your program, people eventually, they just kind of feel better.
Think
right?
differently, feel better, if you will.
I can see it in your.
Yeah.
And that's obvious.
It's not a magic pill that you take.
Right.
You know, it's like not something it is a process.
Right.
It's always a process.
Well, I mean, you said it's a 13-week process.
Right.
So
that's just mine alone.
You work with them very closely. And is this something? Is it once a week, or is it once a day, or is it a couple times?
Once a week on their schedule. If they want to do it every other week, I'm open to that as well.
Okay, gotcha.
As long as it's the 13 weeks.
All right. Well, listen, I mean, there's folks out there that need you, right? Some of them may know it, some of them may not. But I want you to tell them why they need you and why they should be tracking you down, because you've created an awesome business. I'm not even familiar with people that are in the business of coaching people that have been through a sexual abuse situation. So you've got a great business and a good business model and an opportunity to help the people that are out there. So for those that are out there, what would you say to them about why they should work with you?
Okay. Well, I'm going to look straight at you. First, let me tell you how very sorry I am that you've gone through this. And you can thrive. Not only survive, but you can thrive. And I want you to find that voice. And I want you to use that voice and know very much how much you matter. And God loves you, and so do I.
That's awesome. Thank you. And hey, you are not only a survivor, now you're a teacher and able to empower the folks that have had these challenges. Best-selling author, Dry Your Eyes, Girl. Sorry, Dry Your Eyes, Girl. Dry, not cry, right?
That's all right.
Okay.
Yes, we're trying to dry those tears.
You're awesome. And I just want to say, you really need to get a hold of Christina Balzani, originally from New York, but now she's in Florida. And we're going to welcome her to Florida, where I'm from too. But Christina, you're awesome. Thanks for helping all those people.
God bless you.
God
Thank you
bless
so much.
Thank you.